country of extremes. A land in transition. Change is happening everywhere. We're in India on this month's CNN Business Traveller. Hello and welcome to CNN Business Traveller. I'm Richard Quest, this month reporting from the magnificence of the Maharaja's Palace in Jodhpur. This is India's time, so the experts tell us, which is why on this month's Business Traveller we're looking at the ease of doing business and travelling around this vast land. Make in India is the latest campaign to bolster the country as one with promise. The data is there to back it up. With a 7.5% growth rate last year, it's the fastest growing economy in the world. Business is on the rise. Yet development issues plague 300 million people who have neither electricity nor access to basic needs. India is a contradiction. It has a long way to go, with much progress to celebrate. So whilst the rose petals fall and the trumpet sings India's high note, those incessant car horns remain the symbol of this country. A place wanting to speed up, to move forward, to get blockages out of the way. If India is going to rise economically, it'll need strong partners. With no shortage of potential suitors in sight, the United States believes it stands out in front. Modernising India will require more than just good wishes and fine words, though. The US ambassador told me it'll involve getting down to the nitty-gritty. A past peppered with diplomatic rows, two nations quite cold until the 1990s. The US ambassador is Richard Verma. His mission is to make sure the friendship keeps blossoming. He's only been stationed in India for a year, yet his arrival was a bit like coming home.
In the summer of '74 and actually lived with my grandmother.
Indian by heritage, American by upbringing. His mother's land beckoned again, this time on behalf of his country. On the commercial front, what is it that you see that needs to change?
Here in India, it's really improving the ease of doing business. Do you have enough power and water to run your plant or your business? These are not just American concerns. These are companies within India as well.
Talk about the Make in India initiative. Are you seeing evidence that Make in India is actually moving the needle a jot?
Absolutely. I mean, I will tell you that our companies are already here, our big companies are here. It's not just about being pro-market and arguing for barriers to come down. It's how can you support where the country is moving? You can't afford not to be here. We're looking forward to this.
What better way to say India has arrived than a brand new subway system? So what time is the next train? The pride and joy of New Delhi. Your first ride on the subway?
Yes, actually, quite excited about it.
I've never taken a US ambassador on the Delhi subway.
I think what they've put in here has been incredibly efficient and powerful.
You want to go on board and have a look? The metro here looks and functions like any other. What's unique is that it doubles as a time machine, transporting us 200 years back into old Delhi, where the sounds, smells and tuk-tuks have gone unchanged despite the modernization all around. The real issue with growth in this country is there's no, or improvement, there's no one way of doing it, is there?
There's not one way. It's a combination of growing the economy, education, skilling, making sure people have the opportunity to compete in this next century.
To get the full effect of his Delhi, the ambassador suggested we take a less than ambassadorial bicycle rickshaw ride. I couldn't decline. You see the poverty here. How come it's overwhelming, and yet at the same time the policies have to be put in place to improve things? That's the conundrum.
No, look, I see the enormous opportunity here. Economically, strategically, politically, that's the India we see, one that's going to lead in the 21st century.
I've seen, I've heard, I haven't yet tasted Delhi. Time for food, and throughout the program, the ambassador and I will enjoy an Indian meal. There's no curry here. This is new Indian cuisine. The chef at Indian Accent Restaurant in New Delhi is preparing the latest thinking in cuisine. A palate-pleasing three-course meal. I'm tired of bewildering, complicated menus and food that I just look at, not sure what it is. So, with me, Rocky.
How are you?
Mayor, two of India's top food hosts, and to add a bit of decorum, the ambassador.
Before you start, to be able to eat like an Indian, you've got to start by dressing like an Indian. We've got just the thing for you. Lay it on me. Thank you. That's yours. And it's not a table cover.
Let us begin our Indian feast. What's the basic principle when eating and ordering Indian food?
Start small and build it up slowly.
This menu business, which has got 14 pages with weird sounding foods, none of which ever seem to be replicated.
We have 33 million gods. Pray for what you want. You might get it again.
No, but seriously, you have to appreciate the fact that every 150 kilometers, there's a new India. It's all still India, but it's a new India. It's different tastes, different spices, different passions.
It's one of the great things about living here.